everybody. My name is Anne-Marie Graham-Hunet, Canton Township Supervisor, and welcome to Good Day Canton. Today we have a guest on suicide prevention. His name's Brian Galdis, and he's with GrowthWorks, and he's going to tell us a little bit about the program. Brian, welcome to Good Day Canton.
Well, thank you, and thank you for having me on the show. I represent a group of school districts and hospitals that are dedicated to battling adolescent depression, suicide, and the stigma around mental health, particularly for adolescents. And so we represent 7 school districts: Northville, Plymouth Canton, Wayne Westland, Garden City, Redford Union, South Redford, and Garden City. And 2 healthcare organizations, both Trinity Health and Corewell Health.
Okay, could you tell us a little bit what this coalition is going to do?
Absolutely. We are battling, obviously, adolescent depression and suicide, and we're driven by some statistics that are out there. And sometimes when I talk about these statistics, they surprise people. But it's important that we get them out so people know. So the CDC has come out with some research last December. And the first piece of research talks about the fact that students in crisis that are visiting our emergency hospital rooms is up 8% year after year since 2015. And second visits for those same students is up significantly also. And 9% of our students across the country, and this holds true for Western Wayne County also, but 9% of our students have attempted suicide in the last 12 months. And to put that into perspective for the Plymouth Canton area, the park has about 6,000 high school students. That would mean that if you extrapolate that percentage to that number, that we have 450 students who have attempted a suicide in the last 12 months. And that is just astounding numbers, at least to me and to those that I talk to. So that's really our driving force in terms of making a difference. And so we've come together as a coalition to join forces and work together on different policies and procedures and things that we're doing in schools to help adolescents.
Okay, so you and I have something in common. I had a niece who committed suicide. She was a senior at Salem at the time, and I know that right afterwards we went and worked with the schools, and we brought in a program called OK to Say, which put counselors into the cafeteria to start passing out information. It also brought in people to help the staff members, because you think about just the kids, but the staff members who help these kids, they also suffer when a loss like this occurs. So what would be the difference, and how would you interact with a program like OK to Say?
So we, and I'm familiar with OK to Say, and that's an outstanding program. And we also are working with a program called QPR, which is it's a suicide awareness program. And QPR stands for question, P stands for persuade, and R stands for refer. So it gives both adults and students an opportunity to be equipped with some tools to be able to deal with someone who's in crisis. Now, it's not going to, we don't expect people to be counseling people and those kinds of things, but it really helps when you're talking to someone in crisis, how to move forward with them, how to help them get the help that they need to move forward and move through the crisis and then beyond. And so we had a conference last year, and we trained over 5,000 school employees, so bus drivers, school counselors, administrators, teachers, in QPR and awareness training. And starting this next year, and Plymouth Canton is part of this also, we will be training high school students in QPR also.
Okay, and in terms of, how are you working with the administration with something like this?
Well, administration is definitely supportive of the work that we're doing. We couldn't do this work without the support of the administration, and all of the administrations from the 7 school districts, particularly the superintendent and the staff, administrative staff from Plymouth Canton, has been extremely helpful. As a matter of fact, Kathy Grodes, who is an administrator in Plymouth Canton, is a leader in our work, and she really drives a lot of the work that we do.
Now, how do you bring together all the school districts in the area? Wayne County or Washington, or what counties are you working on with this program?
So we're in Western Wayne County, and we have a steering committee that's made up of a decision-making administrator at the district level, as well as one person who works with kids on a daily basis. And so each school district has 2 representatives, and we meet on a monthly basis. Then we create working groups who will take the issues that are brought up by the steering committee, bring some experts in, and then make recommendations to the steering committee, who then take those things back to the individual districts and hospitals, because the hospitals are on board with the work we're also doing.
I've had teenagers tell me something like, I don't need to see a counselor. I can talk to my friends. My friends will help me through this. So a lot of people will rely on their friends that way, younger people, and even some, older people, they think that they feel closer. So if you were to counsel an adolescent, how would you tell them to talk to somebody that they were worried about, or what kind of help could they get for their friend?
That's a great question. And so that's one of the reasons that we are going to be training high school students in QPR. It really does address things like what questions should you be asking? What should you do if someone comes to you with issues or presenting that they're in crisis? And obviously the first thing that they need to do is to seek an adult, make sure that there's an adult in the person's life that knows that they're struggling at that time. They also need to know that nobody who attempts to take their life or does take their life wants to. They don't believe that there's a better alternative, and they've lost hope. Typically, they feel like they're alienated or disconnected, and so really the helping those people know that there is hope and know that there are connections out there and help them get connected. And that's really the refer part, is to help kids know how to refer. Call 988, and there's other ways that we teach kids to be able to refer someone so that they can get through the crisis. And it's an important piece, because friends know someone's in crisis usually before the parents do. And so by training the students and friends, I think that will be really making a dent in adolescent mental wellness.
So what grades are you targeting to train on helping friends?
So we're looking at 9th grade this year, and we'll probably do it through the health classes. And then, so each year that goes by, the 9th grade there'll be 10th graders and 11th graders. So at some point we'll have all of the students at all of the high schools trained.
Do you think that there's an increase since COVID?
Well, if you look at the numbers from the CDC in terms of hospital visits, I would say yes. I think there's been an increase even before COVID, because the research goes back to 2015. But COVID certainly has made it worse. Certainly the students being isolated, not having that opportunity to see friends. Again, we talked about that, how important that connectedness is. And when students are disconnected, it makes it very difficult. Also, they're not interacting with the adults at school, who often can identify when a student's in crisis. So yes, COVID definitely made a difference. So
Brian, why is this important work to you? You used to be a superintendent of school, so is that part of it?
It is part of it. And this is important to me, and my passion is driven on a couple of different levels. Yes, I was a superintendent, and we did have a student who died by suicide in our high school, and so I certainly lived that experience. I also lost a stepdaughter to depression and suicide. And Bethany was an absolutely beautiful angel, and so certainly my passion stems from that also, that experience.
So why is collaboration important with all the various school districts and different programs?
Yeah, that's a great question. So looking at the numbers that I talked about earlier, the numbers are going in the wrong direction, but our school mental health professionals, our administrators, our teachers are really working really hard to make a difference. And so we need to do things differently. I think we need to collaborate and share best practices, and professional development is important. We're providing a conference on Election Day in November. We're going to bring together all of the social workers, all the counselors in one spot, and we're going to provide some real quality professional development for them. And again, give them an opportunity to network, share best practices, to move forward. And we really need to lock arms and to make a difference. And it needs to go beyond also just the school systems. We need the Chamber of Commerce to be involved. We need churches to be involved. If we really want to make a difference for our communities, businesses, everybody needs to be involved to move forward with it.
So I noticed what is the date of that conference?
The date is November 7th.
Okay. I noticed you also list your municipal leaders. So you're saying the chamber, whom else besides chamber and faith leaders?
Yeah, city councils. I met with the Livonia City Council last week, and we talked about how we can move together and collaborate to move forward. I know the mayor of Livonia is very interested in the work, and so we'll be doing some work with them. So again, it's developing a team to move forward, a comprehensive team to move forward to make a difference. And I really hope to be able to get in to talk to all the municipal leaders between now and next June to really build a team to move forward.
Okay. We also have something called Canton Coalition for Inclusive Communities, where we have a lot of nonprofit organizations that come and we meet with the police and we talk about things that are happening in the community and how we can help each other. So that might be something that GrowthWorks can sit in on also.
Absolutely. That would be terrific.
Okay. And this is, of course, Suicide Awareness Month. So do you want to give any last minute comment on that and how important it is to your group?
It is. We talked a little bit about stigma in the beginning of the conversation, and that is really something that prevents us from being able to move forward. And so just getting out, talking about it, learning about the numbers, understanding the epidemic that we have, particularly in adolescent depression and suicide. And it's the only way we're going to move forward is if we lock arms and move together.
Okay. All right. Any last words? Anything you would like to leave our audience with in Canton? What they can do as residents? Again,
Be involved. Get involved. Have conversations. That's the only way we're going to make a difference.
Okay, and GrowthWorks, of course, is available for this and other services for family members. And Canton Township also we have our own social worker, which can also help residents get towards programs just like this. Okay. All right, well, thank you very much for joining us. I appreciate you being here. And thank you for Good Day Canton. We hope to see you soon.
This program has been produced by Canton Community Productions.